Alright guys, we're back. Check this out. We got the Euro Aussie here. Really fascinating situation we had here. Just a couple of days ago, there was a major event here that also helped us to form our decision-making process. That was the moment when price came back, right? Because at first, just to refresh your memory, we kind of broke below 62.22 here. That was my main point of reference. We were waiting for that moment, and we were kind of preferring to have a weekly confirmation on the breakdown, and we did, right? That was last Friday right here. Price did break below and outside of that blue system, very local system here. But then what we saw was a gap, right? So price actually gapped down even further from that 62.22 just to come back all the way, right? The following day, just boom, started to move strongly to the upside and was actually at some point, right, looked like it was going to come back and break back up. But as you can see later on the day, price came back down, left just a bit of a spike here and managed to close the day just a tag below. That's a classic retest, right? That's a classic retest where price kind of comes back to check up on that same key level it broke. It was a support. Now it should be a resistance. I think price made it very clear on that move here. Really interesting stuff. So when I noticed that, I knew that we're probably still holding the right position in place, and I did, I was reluctant to actually reduce the exposure, reduce the size of that position. In fact, I kept it as it was, and now, as you can see, just a couple of hours ago, I actually pulled the trigger the third time here. So we're starting to build up some a nice position here going downwards. Now, I would like to remind you, we're aiming at two main price targets, which are quite far from one another. So, representing the short-term cycle, we got the 59.75. Right, short to medium term cycle, I should say. 59.75, that is our first one, right? Then we have 54.91. Now, that's an ambitious one, right? Relates to the medium to long term perspective, right? The mid to long term cycle, and best observed from the weekly chart. Take a look. So here, basically, what we're trying to play out is a full downside move that will take us from coast to coast pretty much, right? In this case, the edge of that system, top resistance at 64 0 something here, 07, and all the way back to the lower section, and you see why we've mentioned 54.91, right? So we expect here a full leg on the downside that we suspect already started to manifest itself, right? And it's also quite interesting to see here the spike on that 62.22 from the monthly perspective. I think that's pretty informative, to say the least. So there you go, guys. It looks like we are having a downside break off that 62.22. Seems to be genuine, and that's pretty much all we got to say about the Euro Aussie. Probably last thing is the stop loss level, which was adjusted to 63.60. That's where it is at the moment as we get closer, edge closer and closer to the first target at 59.75. That's about that for this one, guys. That's about that for today. We'll see you tomorrow.